do not be afraid to be a bitch. Because when you have boundaries and when you know your worth, you might inevitably be called a bitch. And that's others, mostly men, being uncomfortable with the fact that a woman will not let anyone push her around or take advantage of her. So be a bitch today.
Y'all might need to consider the source on this one.
Come on, man. Tighten up.
In this great big old world that we live in today, we get all kinds of advice. Good advice, bad advice, mediocre advice, advice that needs to be taken with a grain of salt. And then there's advice like this.
So be a bitch today.
I understand ladies valuing themselves, and I'm an absolute proponent of that. I understand that, both parties need to value their time, need to value themselves, need to value their sanity. All of that is extremely important. Not being belittled in any way. All of that is extremely important. But acting like a bitch is no different than a guy acting like an asshole. That'll work sometimes. That'll work. Is that going to be successful in all cases? No, I don't think so. Especially if someone who is serious-minded, someone who is looking for something that is more than a hookup, more than a jump-off, more than a pump and dump, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Being crass, being rude is completely unnecessary in my humble opinion. And frankly, I don't believe that the results you ultimately want are going to be gained by being a bitch.
What?
Guys, I really don't think that being an asshole is going to get you what you want. Now, I understand that nice guys finish last. I understand that. But there's nothing wrong with being assertive. There's nothing wrong with being understanding your worth. There's nothing wrong with being clear about what you will and will not put up with. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But all this other stuff, acting like a bitch, acting like an asshole,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
leave that for these young stars like her. See, she probably just out of high school. She kind of cute. Yeah, she's kind of attractive. You know what I mean? So maybe she could get away with being a bitch more often than not. Maybe she's got an excessive amount of opportunity out there, but that's going to end. That's going to come to a close eventually. And eventually she's going to have to either be more thoughtful or just lose out. I don't know about you, but there comes a point of where the person is just not attractive enough to be that much of a bitch.
Shaya. Oh, Mashanya. Oh, I feel a Shakani up in here. Bashandaba. Oh, I feel a Shakani up in here.
Yeah, you can be a bitch and you can get some attention. Okay, like for example, I see an attractive girl. I go up to her and I'm talking to her and she's attractive. Depending on my zeal for this particular young lady, if she is acting like a bitch, her looks will only take her so far. It'll only take her so far. Because it'll get to a point where I'm going to be like, yeah, I ain't putting up with this. She ain't that good looking. She ain't that fine. Think about who you want, ladies. Think about the kind of man you want. Go from there. I mean, being a bitch is not going to work. It's just not going to work for a long-term, successful, healthy relationship. It's just not going to work. Maybe that's not what you want. And if it's not what you want, if that's not what you want, okay, then, be a bitch, have fun, turn up, hot girl summer, go on down to Miami, Pop bottles, do your thing, have fun, do whatever you want to do, but do not expect to get the results completely polar opposite to that by taking those actions. You're just not going to get it. I'm sorry. It's not a man's fault that he doesn't want that kind of woman on his arm. It's not. It's his preference. He's got a right to have a preference. He's got a right to be picky. Men chase, women pick. I get it, but I don't care for. I wouldn't date a girl like her. I wouldn't be interested in a girl like her. She wouldn't be interested in me. Look at me. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not the type of guy that would be chasing her, and I'm certainly not the kind of guy that she would pick. So yeah, let we go this way. That's good. I ain't on the market anyway.
I know that's right.
Young ladies like this will learn eventually that being a bitch is not going to create an environment that young men are going to want to be around on a regular basis. It's just not going to work. Not going to work. Now, there's one thing about it and two things for sure. If I tell you a rooster can pull a plow, hook him up, I done seen him do it. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing else. Yeah, I said it. You got a problem with it. It sounds like a personal problem to me. You might need to take it up with yourself. Don't get mad at me. This is simply the truth, according to the world of Geno Segers. Small world, but it is mine.